Kenia Monge was born on June 25, 1992, in the warm country of Honduras, located in Central America. Her mother, Maria Monge, left her with her grandmother when Kenia was a child and migrated to the United States to pursue the dream of a better life. In this new land, Maria married a kind and loving man named Tony. Spending most of her childhood in Honduras, Kenia moved to the U.S. to join her mother and stepfather at the age of 12. Tony became a father figure in Kenia's life. He always took care of her, and they shared a strong father-daughter bond. Although Kenia knew very little English, she was smart and outgoing, which helped her adapt quickly. After graduating from high school, she started studying broadcasting at a university in their city. Around the same time, she met Leo, who later became her boyfriend. She had a smooth relationship with Leo, but Kenia spent most of her time with her girlfriends and enjoyed partying with them. On the night of March 31, 2011, Kenia planned to go out with her friends as she did every weekend. After a few hours of drinking and dancing, she quickly felt the effects of the alcohol. At one point, she told her friends she was going to the bathroom, leaving her purse and phone on the table and asking them to watch her things until she returned. However, Kenia never came back. When her friends realized she hadn't returned, they searched around the bar but couldn't find her. They thought she might have left with someone she knew. On the morning of April 1, 2011, Kenia's boyfriend, Leo, woke up and noticed she wasn't in bed. He knew she had spent the previous night with her close friends, but her absence was highly unusual for him. If Kenia were going to spend the night at a friend's place, she would have informed her boyfriend beforehand. When he checked his phone, he saw no messages or missed calls. Sensing something was wrong, Leo called Kenia's sister Kim and informed her that Kenia had been missing since the night before. Kim also hadn't heard from Kenia since the evening, which heightened their worries. Leo then called Kenia's parents to let them know she was unreachable, and the family started their search. First, they checked her social media activity and reached out to friends who might know her whereabouts. During these contacts, a surprising detail emerged. It turned out that Kenia wasn't with her usual group of friends that night. She had been partying with new acquaintances. These new friends informed Maria and Tony that their plans had changed, and they didn't know where Kenia was. None of them had seen her that night. The family quickly identified the people she was with that night, and two individuals who heard about her disappearance came to the family's house. They revealed to Tony and Maria that Kenia had been using a fake ID for the past few months. This news shocked her parents. Kenia, being a party girl, used the fake ID to appear older and gain entry to parties. Additionally, her friends handed over Kenia's phone, purse, and house keys, which she had left at the club that night. Tony and Maria spent hours going through her messages, hoping to find a clue about her whereabouts. Sadly, there was no helpful information until Tony found a text message on her phone that had arrived after she went missing. It was from Travis, the guy who gave her a ride the previous night in a creepy white van, asking if she made it home. Tony immediately called the number but received no answer, and he decided it was time to involve the police. The family went to the nearest police station to file a missing person report for their daughter. However, the police turned them away, stating they needed to wait 72 hours. The police had suggested that Kenia might have been drunk or hungover somewhere and would likely show up soon. Disappointed with the police's response, Tony and Maria quickly printed missing person flyers and distributed them in areas where they thought their daughter might have gone. As the search continued, Tony received a phone call from the individual who had sent the cryptic message to his daughter the day before. Introducing himself as Travis Forbes, the man explained the events of the previous night, a narrative that would change the course of the investigation. Around 2 a.m., while passing by the club, Travis saw Kenia talking to a homeless man, clearly intoxicated. He offered her help, to which Kenia nodded. She mentioned needing to get to her car from another club. Travis offered to accompany her, but upon arrival, Kenia's car was nowhere to be seen. Travis then suggested giving her a ride home, and Kenia disclosed the address of the apartment she shared with Leo. During the journey, Kenia asked for a stop at a gas station for cigarettes, only to find it closed. Later, she conversed with a man named Dan smoking on the sidewalk, speaking in Spanish. At one point, Travis saw Dan give Kenia a cigarette, after which they walked away together, disappearing from view, marking the last time Travis saw Kenia. Travis sent the text message to ensure Kenia's safety, as he was worried about her being drunk. Nonetheless, Tony found it hard to believe Travis's account, due to unanswered questions. Kenia wanting to reach her car without her keys, along with her purse holding cards and cash, made the stop for cigarettes seem puzzling. Following this conversation, Tony contacted the police again, sharing Travis's strange story and emphasizing his ominous feeling about his daughter's risky situation. Despite Tony's plea, the police refused his request again, leaving him frustrated with only Travis's questionable story as a lead. Tony chose to contact Travis again to go over the events. Travis suggested meeting at the gas station, providing Tony a chance to confront the person possibly linked to his daughter's disappearance. Carrying his 9mm handgun, he informed his wife Maria of his plans. After Tony left, Maria urgently called the police, explaining the situation, including Tony bringing a gun to the meeting with Travis. The police decided to act, assuring Maria they would intervene at the gas station if needed. Upon arrival at the gas station, Tony found Travis and his companion waiting, easing Tony with their friendly manner. Travis appeared cooperative and genuinely concerned about Kenia's well-being, causing Tony to question his suspicions. Recounting the same story as on the phone, Travis pointed out the area where Kenia had walked off with the homeless man. Despite Travis's apparent cooperation, Tony's concerns about his daughter's fate lingered, prompting him to share his worries with the officer present. Walking toward Travis's white van, Tony caught a strange bleach smell coming from the vehicle, mentioning it to the officer, who also detected the odor. Requesting to inspect the van, Travis complied, opening the doors to reveal a pristine cargo area with new upholstery, but a messy front seat littered with trash and food wrappers, a contrast that raised suspicions. At the gas station, Travis provided a written statement and was then allowed to leave. Before departing, Travis approached Tony, shook his hand, and expressed hope that his daughter would be found soon, tears streaming down his face as he spoke. Exactly 72 hours after Kenia's disappearance, a missing person report for her was officially filed. The case received extensive coverage in local news and even reached Honduras. Seeking the public's assistance, the family announced a reward for any leads. Around this time, a witness contacted the police, claiming to have seen the missing girl at a Denver gas station around 3 a.m. on Friday night. Following this lead, detectives searched but were unable to locate Kenia. However, they decided to expedite the investigation. Upon reviewing security camera footage, they spotted Kenia in the club lobby. She was intoxicated and in the company of another man. This finding aligned with Travis's account, suggesting that the man in the footage could be the homeless individual he mentioned. Nevertheless, despite these developments, Travis remained the last known person to have seen Kenia alive, leading detectives to focus their attention on him. Subsequently, a woman reached out to the police, disclosing that she had rented her bakery to Travis, who had been operating it for months. She provided the police with security footage from the night Kenia went missing, which revealed some irregularities. After noticing that the camera had been tampered with, she reviewed the footage and saw Travis as the last person recorded. The footage showed Travis wearing cleaning gloves behind the bakery, loading a cooler into his vehicle. He then exited through the bakery's back door carrying a bottle of bleach and later turned off the security cameras. With this lead, the police brought Travis in for questioning, but he stuck to the same story, claiming to have been with his girlfriend that night, who could confirm his alibi. However, upon further questioning, his girlfriend's account did not align, raising suspicions. Travis's phone did not register near his girlfriend's home the night Kenia disappeared, and officers also noticed a small cut on Travis's arm, which he attributed to a fight with a homeless man. Digging deeper, the police interviewed Travis's neighbors around the bakery, who reported witnessing a significant cleaning operation behind the bakery, along with a white cooler. Suspicions surrounding Travis deepened, further connecting him to Kenia's disappearance, although he continued to present himself as a concerned citizen. Without concrete evidence, Travis could not be charged and remained a free man.
Man, I'm sorry that I was indifferent, that I didn't think anything. I didn't think anything. I didn't think she was gonna disappear. I could have walked with them. I could have been more. I could have been like, no, no, I'm gonna take you home, and I could have intervened more, and not.
Public opinion began to shift against him, prompting his disappearance as he absconded in a friend's car to evade scrutiny. Travis drove the stolen vehicle from Colorado to Texas in an attempt to distance himself from the pressure. On May 4th, Travis was apprehended in Austin, suspected of car theft, and extradited back to Colorado for trial. However, his friend withdrew the complaint, leading to Travis's release. The police continued to closely monitor Travis, hoping he would slip up. Despite appearing to lead a normal life, frequenting bars and clubs without displaying any signs of guilt, Travis was under surveillance. On July 4, 2011, while the city celebrated Independence Day with a fireworks display, 30-year-old Lydia Tillman was among the revelers, enjoying the festivities until late into the night. As she walked home alone, she noticed a man staring at her uncomfortably, unaware that she was being followed. Just as she reached her front door, the man attacked, repeatedly punching her in the head. One blow broke Lydia's jaw, causing severe head trauma as she fought back as best she could. She fought for her life, kicking and scratching her attacker. However, after a few minutes, she lost consciousness. The man's main intent was sexual assault, but before fleeing, he had one final act: pouring bleach over Lydia's battered body and setting the apartment on fire. Shortly after, firefighters arrived and began searching for a way into the apartment. What they witnessed left them in shock. A woman, naked and burned, emerged at a second-story window and then leaped out seconds later. This woman was none other than Lydia Tillman. Left to perish in the flames, she made a desperate leap for survival. Emergency responders promptly rushed to her aid and transported her to the hospital. Sadly, Lydia suffered a stroke shortly after arrival, leaving doctors doubtful about her survival. DNA samples from under Lydia's fingernails were collected and sent to the crime lab, providing critical evidence against her attacker. Furthermore, the use of bleach in the attack mirrored the circumstances of Kenia's disappearance. The police decided to put Travis under surveillance again, leading to a pivotal moment when they spotted him outside a club. As Travis engaged in conversation with a woman, an officer approached him, requested his ID, and questioned him. Strangely, Travis provided a false name and address, displaying extreme nervousness throughout the interaction. 20 minutes after the officer departed, Travis reappeared in different clothing and was observed approaching an intoxicated woman. The two began to walk away together, but the police, unwilling to let him go, arrested Travis for providing false information. That same day, lab results arrived, revealing that the DNA from Lydia Tillman's nails perfectly matched Travis Forbes. Travis Forbes, who was 31 years old, was apprehended for attempted murder, sexual assault on Lydia Tillman, and arson. Meanwhile, Kenia's case remained open, prompting detectives to visit him in prison. Travis arrived prepared for interrogation, willing to speak but with two conditions: avoiding the sex offender label and the death penalty. Reluctantly, prosecutors agreed, leading to a confession 5 months after Kenia's disappearance. Travis admitted to encountering Kenia outside a club, offering to assist her. He and a friend tried to secure a cab for her to her boyfriend's apartment, but failing to do so, they offered to drive her home. Travis dropped off his friend first and proceeded towards Kenia's apartment. In an unfortunate turn of events, Travis attempted to sexually assault Kenia, resulting in a struggle that led to him overpowering and strangling her to death in the van's front seat. He then disposed of her body in a cooler in his van, storing it in his workplace freezer before burying her in a remote location and discarding the remains. Guided by Travis's information, detectives located Kenia's remains on September 7th, leaving some in tears. Travis, showing no remorse, taunted the detectives, asking if they were pleased with finding her. The autopsy could not pinpoint Kenia Monge's exact cause of death due to the advanced decomposition of her body. As further details about Travis's past emerged, a pattern of theft, harassment, and assault was revealed. Despite his confession, Travis had to stand trial and ultimately pleaded guilty to the charges without contest. Travis Forbes, age 31, was convicted of the first-degree murder of Kenia Monge and the attempted murder of Lydia Tillman. He received a life sentence without the possibility of parole, along with an additional 48 years for attempted murder. In contrast, Lydia, the resilient hero of this tragic narrative, endured months of rehabilitation and multiple surgeries post-attack. With unwavering support from her family, she had to relearn how to speak, walk, and drive, earning widespread public acclaim as a hero. Kenia's stepfather, Tony, addressed the press after the funeral, imploring the police to heed the sobering lessons from this harrowing case.